Hello, hello, hello.
Hello. Spirit
Hi.
fingers.
Spirit fingers. Oh my God, I'm wearing my new favorite shirt. And it's hard to show the whole thing on camera, but I love it.
It's so cute.
One of my favorite drag queens of all time. And of course, from Drag Race, Bob the Drag Queen. I found it at Target. I had no idea. I hope that you're making money off this, Bob. Welcome everybody to People Like Us Special Edition RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 7 Review Episode 8.
Hand breathe.
How you doing?
Good. You know what? Today, I'm a little tired. I went to the gym this morning and I left it all there. And then the rest of the day, I was like, do I have to adult today?
Listen, at least your tired is from achieving something. My tired is I made the mistake of scrolling last night a little too late and then accidentally fell upon something that irritated my brain and then I couldn't sleep. I was like, oh, I'm going to turn this off. I'm annoyed. And I put it to the side and 2 hours later, it was 2:35 in the morning. And I was like, so we're just not going to sleep today? So that's really fun. So you win because you went to the gym. So good job.
Yes. I've been going to the gym.
And I will tell you this, if we ever do a Drag Race review series again, we're going to do it on Wednesday or Thursday because it makes it so much easier to find all the good stuff when you're not rushing to find it. I was like, oh, I like a few extra days. So,
right? Yeah.
Really
so you were able to get good content stuff.
Listen, I am really excited. This became one of my favorite episodes of all time. I'm really excited about it, and I found a lot of really fun content, which I'm so excited about. So let's get into it.
Let's get it going.
That's not what I want to show. And there we go. All right. So technology is my friend. I love technology. Okay.
Yes.
So, okay. So this show we had an acting challenge, right? Which seems to be one of the frequent things that actually I tend to love with this cast. I don't always love it. But this cast is full of a lot of really fun personalities. So what was it called? Because my notes closed. Of course, everything's crazy today. The Santa School for Girls, right?
Yeah, it was related to Christmas. Don't ask me what the name of it was.
I wrote it because there's no way I was going to remember. I'm like, Santa School for Girls.
School for Girls.
Somebody went to school, and
so
I have some pictures to show. I have my favorites, of course, but you know, I think this was truly another episode that the Vivian is shining, darling. I'll say it again, and I'll say it honestly. You called it from the get-go that she was one of the best without even you having much knowledge at all of this show. And I like her a lot, but man, I now love her so much. So
yeah, I think she came in a little bit like under the radar. And I don't have experience with, watching RuPaul's shows, much less commenting on them at all. This is something that I decided to do for you after much begging and pleading.
It was time.
So I know, but we talked about, I was like, isn't there someone else you want to do this?
You're like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be talking about. I'm like, just what you liked and what you didn't.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that you were getting, challenged enough and kind of getting that feedback because I know you love these shows so much and they mean so much to you. I didn't want to let you down, but I did see her and I was like, well, I don't know much about anything, but she is one to look out for.
Yeah. And I will tell you, she's one of RuPaul's favorites of all because she won a contest before being on Drag Race, which got her a spot on the season that she got onto. Then she won that season. Now she's on this. So she's the only international queen that was invited to the season. So yeah. So this whole role that she had, very Mother Dearest and very exaggerated and
very Mother Dearest, very people under the stairs, like
God.
She had that dark, but surprisingly, like she's a good actress because
she's really good.
some of them are not, they're really bad. And you love them, you give them an A for effort, but their acting skills, that's not what they're on the show for.
Right.
But she did very good.
She's really, really good.
Yeah.
And I couldn't find the clip, but I lost my mind when she spoke back to RuPaul for laughing. When she was like, "Stop it, Ru!"
Stop it, because she couldn't get into character. Like Ru kept cracking up and just couldn't believe it, was loving it so much, and she's like, "You need to stop."
She was already doing this weird mouth thing, and you could see like right here, it was like she was really trying to hold it, and she was like, "Stop!" Like, because
she's like doing this side and yeah. I mean, she killed it. She did really good.
She killed it. She was the murderer.
She killed them. Killed it.
Yeah. So then we had a little bit. Well, and I don't know if you know this, but on her season, she actually played in the Snatch Game Donald Trump, which is so funny because everyone was like, "What are you doing?" And it was one of the most iconic things she's ever done. And because I know the reference, there was Donald Trump isms in this character as well. There was moments where she let that character come out. You're like, I think she purposefully was like, I'm not doing. She said she doesn't want to do him anymore because she don't like him no more. But she's like, I'm like, she knows what we're looking to see, you know? And then we have the whole like Mean Girls storyline. So, Shay comes in as the new girl in school. And Shay was fine. She was just kind of like awkward and just
she was not fine. She wasn't good at this. We love her, but she's not a good actress. I will say this though, it was so corny. Like it was an awful.
It's meant to be.
Which is fine, but when you're not a good actor, actress, performer in that sense, and you're given such a corny skit, it makes it harder.
Yeah. And what I do love, I love the fact that the ones who are great at it, because again, I thought I give Shay the fine card. I even say Evie's probably on the same level. Like, you're fine. The fact that Jinx did not get the roles that she wanted, and she's like, "Oh, okay, so I'm not gonna have a lot of lines. I'm gonna make my lines as ridiculously long and drawn out and extra and emphasized as possible." And she's brilliant. She's brilliant at her strategy in making sure, like, I'm not fading to the background regardless of what you give me. And I love that. And then Trinity for me was pure, ridiculous, stupid, funny. Like the way they were like, "No, look dead in the eyes." And she goes, "I love that for me."
Yeah. To be honest, I would have expected more from Trinity as far as the acting goes. Like Edie did really well, you know what I mean? Which I didn't expect. Cause it's not something that she's used to conforming to, you know what I mean? She's very out there and she kind of always does her own thing. So to be given a box, like this is the box you have to conform to, I was like, "Oh, I wonder how she's gonna do." And I think she did very well. Jinx is just a whole nother level of just being on her own. She took over every like scene that she was in, like she was the one to look at. But that's what I mean about when they're naturally talented, like in that aspect of like acting, I think she did really, really well. I hated what they made Trinity do. I think it was like, and it's not her fault.
I laughed the whole time. I thought it was hilarious.
No, I was annoyed because I was like, it was almost like Trinity portraying herself in like a dumbed down level.
But it's Mean Girls. She's playing the girl that
I understand the concept of it. I just don't think she did a good job acting. It was over. You know what my problem is? I just figured it out talking to you right this second. I don't like the overly Trinity. I don't like because she's so good when she's just herself. I don't like when she adds layers to her personas because I think that kills the magic that's her.
I think you want more of her, not that. Yeah, I get you.
She could have been her in a dumbed down level and still worked out beautifully, but she portrayed somebody else, and I didn't like it.
Yeah,
but what do I know? I'm not a director.
No, I mean it's just a difference of opinion, no biggie. But we do
Yeah.
have to remember when
No,
it
of
comes to Tay,
course, of course. I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna cry in the closet or anything.
never
You're
in the
like, "It's
closet.
okay, honey, it's not a problem."
Never in the closet. We all came out already. Um, but we all have to remember when it comes to Jinx, this is easy for Jinx in the sense of she flexes this muscle all the time. She spends most of her life on a stage doing shows that include acting and singing. It's, most of these queens, they travel and they lip sync, they perform and dance, and that's an amazing talent, but that is not acting. And so it is, I mean, there's some acting involved, but you get what I'm saying. It is very different. So,
No, absolutely. That's why I'm saying that, yes, even like Evie, that's not what she does. I still feel that she did a better job at her role than what they had Trinity do. And I understand she was directed to do that. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that, maybe she would have done something different on her own, but
yeah.
I would have been like, no.
And then we had Miss Monet, which my favorite part of the whole thing with Monet was that she thought she was going to be like feminizing her voice. They're like, no, sound like yourself. And then she was like, oh, I could do this all day. It was like, yeah, we don't need you to feminize your voice.
But
Like,
I love that they did that. I love that they did that. That's what I wish maybe Trinity would have done as well.
I think it's just because the role was written as dumb, aloof, and I don't think they felt the need for it. But I get what you're saying. It could have been better. Um, I will say that
Monet was giving me like Oprah vibes.
I was gonna say Whoopi, but that's the hair. So yeah,
Well, yeah, that's the hair. I mean, like in the way that she was like talking and
she
addressing
also
everybody.
she's also done in the Snatch Game Maya Angelou. She loves that. Like, yeah, it's totally
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
I was gonna
It
say
was good.
the
She did good.
director in this episode. I loved what Evie said, that this was probably the best person they've ever seen in the chair, regardless of the fact that she was very like spiritual and energy and all that. And Evie loves that stuff. It's just I thought that she gave really good pointers and she was very present. And it wasn't just like, oh, good, try that again. And sometimes
Yeah.
they invite people and you're like, they didn't really add anything to the acting or the episode, just the fact that there was a guest. So I did like what she added.
Yeah, I think she did good. She was giving them like really good feedback and ideas and constructive criticism
And
to
I
better their
I
performance.
love me a bald-headed, confident woman. Like, I think if you could rock that, that is so awesome. Keep my wife's name out.
God, she wasn't really bald.
Moving on. Keep my
Yeah, she
wife's
she
name.
wasn't bald. She
And
had
then,
really short hair, very beautiful short hair. I understood what you
I
tried to
mean,
say, but she
it looked like it wasn't like she bald like booty bald, but that's as close to bald as I was gonna expect her to be. Jada,
no
um,
worries, honey. Go ahead.
keep my wife's name. Jada, I thought, I mean, they didn't give her a lot of opportunity to do much, and I was just kind of like, she was just there. And yeah, they gave her props for like emoting in the background. I'm like, bueno, por lo menos. Like, but but
Yeah,
Raja,
well, because she did a good job at being a presence, even though she wasn't verbal with it.
yeah,
And that's hard too. That's what they were saying, where she still commanded her parts just by her actions and her movements. And that's difficult to do at times when you're not speaking.
yeah. And I thought Raja killed it. I thought she was a lot of fun. I thought she took it to the next level. I think Raja has found her groove halfway through the competition. I think she had a very slow start, even though her fashion was good. But I think she is hidden a groove where a couple weeks ago I said I could see her in the finale, and I definitely think she should be in the. She's killing it. I think she's finding her fun and just letting go a little bit, and I love that for her and for any queen. Like, that's what this should be. You're not supposed to take this show that seriously because you can't. Um, I just love this stuff. It's so funny, so ridiculous. Did you love Raja?
Oh yeah. She did great. I think she really like played the character very well. She was, confident and snotty and kind of like, the I don't give a fuck girl. And it worked because that was exactly what she was supposed to do. I think she did it very well.
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thought she did a great job. I literally had nothing negative to say. So that was our acting challenge, and then we get to the runway, and I have to take a moment and say this is again. It just keeps happening this season. I love RuPaul's look head to toe, the hair, the earrings being the same exact shade as the lip, that dress, I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite
She
looks.
looked she looked stunning.
I
She really
thought
did.
that I was like, Michelle gonna have to do it up a little bit when Ruth's on that level. I'm like, Michelle looks like she's going to like be the chaperone at the prom. Like I was like, RuPaul's like,
But it's
boom, like
okay because she always looks really funky and she's always out there. So every once in a while, they have to, tone it down and remind people that I can look elegant and that's okay.
and this is Ru's show, so whatever. So yeah, at the end of the
Mm.
day, it's RuPaul's Drag Race. So, but yeah, I really did love this look. I mean, every scene, every month, I was like, my God, RuPaul looks amazing. It just gets better and better. So, the runway theme that we get is called Knitty Knitty Bang Bang, like knitwear, and I was like, knitwear, like, I was like, what on earth in the grandma's home are we about to see? Little did I know that this was going to be, I feel like, the coolest, most creative, fun, honestly exciting runways I'd ever seen. And I took some time, and I'll share them obviously as we go through, to dig. And a lot of the girls shared a lot about these looks. And even
Mhm.
RuPaul's Drag Race page on Instagram shared all the looks. And they don't do that every week. They honestly don't do it very often at all. So I think that the world involved in this episode knows just how cool this episode was. It wasn't just like we liked it. So really excited for that. So the first up, of course, is the Vivian. So as her fan, that's your fan favorite. You start. What'd you think about this?
I mean, what is there to say? It's just a big blanket of deliciousness, and I love what she did with her hair.
I
I feel
love that. Say it again. Can you repeat it? Did you hear yourself? It is a
I don't know
big
what I said.
blanket of deliciousness.
Of deliciousness. I just feel like
Ah,
this is so it's so simplistic
so
and
simplistic.
so perfectly executed.
So
It's
perfect.
so simple.
Vivian, we're giving you a clap.
And we
Because
all know how I
holy
love
cow.
to clap.
I mean, can we talk about the fact,
Of
again, I'm
course.
all about details. Like the fact that her hair almost looks like the fabric and is being held by whatever they're called that you use to knit. It's just no detail is left unthought of in something like this. And I just love it because this
It was
theme could go
gorgeous.
really, really wrong, I feel. And I
It
mean,
was
this was the first
gorgeous.
one to walk out, and I was like, oh. So I was like, oh, well, this is not what so I was very excited. And
It's
then,
just
of
like
course, as
you
I
don't
do most
think
weeks,
of yarn as being elegant.
no,
And
you think
she
of it like a
walked
wear on
out and
couch.
you were like, I want a yarn dress for the Oscars. Like,
Right.
I think it was gorgeous. And she just looked so poised and so beautiful and elegant. I loved it.
Loved it. And as I do every week, if possible, I like to share their photos of it. And I was like, oh, it just gets better. Okay. So, I mean,
Beautiful.
just a, say it again. What was it? A large blanket of deliciousness. I love that. I'm going to write that in a quote and send it to her. I love it. I love it.
Send it to me too, because I said it and then I forgot what I
I'm
said.
going to rewind it
It
to
just
make
came,
sure I quote
it
you
came from
correctly.
the soul. So I was like
I
I
feel like
can
if
wrap
you were on
myself up
Fashion
around.
Police, that would be a clip playing in the commercials. Like it was a big blanket of deliciousness, and everybody like, I want to watch that episode. I
Well,
loved
loop
it.
it on this one.
I will. But here's what she shared online. This is the heaviest garment I've ever worn and the hottest. I actually nearly passed out on the runway during critiques, and production were very gracious and they let me take it off and take a rest backstage. This was painstakingly made by the amazing Shone.co and was a dream to work with. Thank you. And then list the rest of the people. And again, I just You know, it's the details for me. It's the stuff that we don't see. I admire artistry as a whole. So you think about, like we covered in our regular show, like watching J-Lo behind the scenes, and we're like, man, we didn't think about all these things. And you're like, wow, that's beautiful. That's so cool. And you're like, wait, you're almost dying on there? Like, we didn't see that. And that's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like, yeah, you were dying, but I love to know the details of what went into that. I feel like it shows heart.
Yeah, the work, the actual work that they put into it, not only mentally, but physically as well. It's very
No
draining and,
joke.
you know,
Yeah.
it's appreciated. We appreciate you, ladies.
If you guys didn't know, we're clapping more now because we've realized that Pookie likes to clap. So now it's a thing. So next up on the runway, we have Miss Shea Coulee. And here's the funny thing with this, right? So she came out and I was like, what is this? And she talked about being inspired by the Ndebele tribe. And I was like, okay, which I thought made sense because Ndebele tribe, they mentioned it in Mean Girls, which tied to the other challenge. I was like, that's cool. As, oh, sorry, never ending cough. As I started to look at detail by detail by detail, I was like, man, there's a lot to look at here. The dress, the socks, the neck piece, the blanket over it, the headpiece, like there's a lot going on. And I just thought it looked very cool. And sometimes I think Shea is so over the top fashion conceptual that a lot of people may not get it. But I did end up loving this. And I don't know how you felt about it.
Well, I will say this. I feel like it's very big culturally. And I feel like it speaks to like the ancestors. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's so
You're
beautiful. I
absolutely
feel like
right.
it's something that I'm sorry?
No, you're absolutely right. That's exactly it.
Yeah, I just feel like it's something you would see at a museum of history or something. You know what I mean? Like it's beautiful. The seashells, you know, the shells that are on the crown and I am still confused about I'm assuming that the dress itself is yarn and so are all the
All of it.
okay. Yeah,
Now,
because I was like, it goes by so fast that, you know, I was like, wait, what's yarned? And then I love the golden neck pieces, which again is very cultural, it's very historic. So I think she did a beautiful job in incorporating that as well as with the challenge.
did you realize, I don't remember if she said it on the episode, that this is a bald cap?
What do you mean?
She's not bald. That is a bald cap painted
Yeah.
into the huh?
Yeah.
I
know she's not bald.
I was like, oh, she shaved her whole head. Listen,
no.
I have seen many a bald cap look really wrong. And through her tweets and Instagram, she said she was so nervous because she didn't get to practice. And this was the first time actually applying the bald cap. And I'm like, oh, so you're just a bald cap application pro. That looks
she did very
so smooth, so effort. There's no line connecting from bald cap to face, like the colors. Fantastic
beautiful
job. But
beautiful.
sorry, I'm gonna elevate right now how you feel about it. And this is why sometimes it's hard because I already saw this and I liked it more after this. And I think you're gonna, because it speaks to what you just said. This was the inspiration. It literally was pulled from this history. And when I saw that, I was like, how can I not love that? Like, I didn't know the references and all that. So of course I wouldn't have known but when I saw that, I was like, oh yeah, like Shay, this.
Yeah, I could tell right away that was based off of tribes and based off, you know, I've seen a lot of like different documentaries and different things. I know the gold's neck, it's something that is done for beauty to elongate. The longer the neck, the more beautiful the female. And then just even the headpieces, like I could tell. I just found it amazing that she took this opportunity to kind of mesh the two together. That was very creative.
And so I wanted to share her Instagram post as well, because again, I got a lot from it. You know, she said this was from the Ndebele Princess. This is by far one of my favorite runways. When we got the theme, I went into a deep dive researching anything that spoke to me. And that's when I came across this incredibly beautiful style of Ndebele people of South Africa, known for their brightly painted homes. They decorate the exteriors with vibrant symbols and expressions that portray communications of personal prayers, self-identification, values, emotions, and marriage. Some of the most popular color combinations include red, gold, and cyan. I was so deeply moved and inspired by these artisans that I knew I had to do my own interpretation for this week's runway challenge. I was so nervous on the day of the runway because I didn't get to practice a bald cap ahead of time. Knowing that the first time would be on the main stage, captured by an HD camera, was daunting to say the least. But I was so proud of how it turned out. Even had me thinking about becoming a bald black beauty like Miss Monet Exchange. One of my favorite compliments that didn't make the final cut was when Ross Matthews said, "It feels like it belonged to the Smithsonian." Integrating the African, I'm sorry, I don't know that word, diaspora? Oops. In my runway presentations in unexpected ways is always a delightful challenge for me. And this look in particular holds a very special place in my heart. I hope you enjoyed it too. So again, we talk about like what goes into this, and I just love this. I love that it's that you see more of the detail of the dress there. You see how it's knit there. You can see it more detailed.
Yeah.
So
and what I'm realizing is that I belong on an actual panel.
You are on one. This is your panel. Welcome.
No. Like a bigger panel. Like, no, I love you, but bye.
No, this is, remember how you said you
bye, Felicia. Because if RuPaul calls me for real, I'm out.
Okay, so remember how you said you weren't sure if you could hang on this show, and then you came on the show, we created the show, you said you were doing it for me, and we're doing it together?
Yeah.
Together.
I lied.
Oh, okay. I'm your manager then. So yeah, so props to you, Evie. Evie's next. Props to you, Shay. We really did enjoy it after understanding the full conception, the full conceptual idea. And next up was Miss Evie Oddly, who is always out of the box.
I love her and her little meatballs. That's what they look like. It looks like spaghetti and meatballs.
It's completely spaghetti and meatballs. And I will say that I love this color story on her. I thought it looked amazing. And again, details. All those pins in the headpiece with the yarn hanging from it and what she's holding in her hands. And just the yarn from head to toe. Her
makeup. Her makeup has been looking amazing.
Her lips looking like threaded. Oh my God. Like, who does this stuff? I'm obsessed.
Evie, we love you. Ain't nothing odd about you, girl.
Oh, there's a lot odd, but we love it.
No, I mean, like in loving her, there's nothing odd about it.
Oh, nothing odd about loving you, Evie.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Bob always says, Miss Evelyn Oddly. I don't know why he calls her Evelyn, but it's funny. But again, showing some of the behind the scenes looks. So this was all of the process that took place in the creation of this garment, including hand dip dyeing it and then spraying it to make sure that it was sealed and didn't leak and whatnot. And then, of course, it takes a long time to dry. This was months of work. You know, I'm not going to read this whole thing, but he talks about, you can see it on the Instagram, talks about in December of 2020, when he was on lockdown, he had so much time that he just wanted to make something, and he started thinking of shapes, and all this came to mind, and he called it, I love the words, this is what was born out of that chaotic flush. I love that verbiage. He said he had the yarn sitting in the room, and he decided this is what we were going to do with it. And literally made this garment. It took a few months. And then he was like, when I was ready for All Stars and I got the runway list, I was flabbergasted to see a knit runway. I was like, I know what I'm going to use for the knit runway. Who has this in their closet? Just ready to go.
It's called manifestation. That's exactly what that's called.
Completely.
It was something that was created from nothing for nothing. And there it is on a runway.
You cannot create something as crazy big as this and not have it seen. Like, that has to be seen, right? So, and then he talks about they went on to develop it more, an extra 4 feet to the jacket, dip dyed, and this and that.
Beautiful.
I'm very proud of all of these stories, and I love that they're taking the time to give us this, because I think it's a gift to us that are true diehard fans to say, wow, like, this is stuff that you don't get to see on the show. You know, we watch we watch an hour show that they are there for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. It's like, there's so much to it that we'll never know. So,
well, it's the intent. It's nice to know the intent and the sentimental value to everything, because it just changes your perspective a little bit.
It's like, how could I knock all of that work? Like, regardless of if you love it, you're like, oh, you worked on it for 6 months. You're like, damn, like,
Yeah.
but so, and then of course her photos are just exquisite. I love the color in the background. And again, that lip looking like threading and it matches the hair that looks like threading. Oh, it's so good.
Gorgeous.
It's deliciousness. I'm gonna start using that word. I like it. So
You're welcome.
you're welcome. Yeah, I loved it. I loved it. I loved it. And then next up, we had Miss Jinx Monsoon, who looked like Jinx Monsoon. So I'm not upset with it. It is in the right category, and she made it old Hollywood glam. Probably one of the least creative ones on the runway because it was her same dress, but in that fabric, I would say.
Yeah. I believe that she's very predictable. And
Yeah,
I would love to see her come out with something that would knock everybody's socks off.
yeah, because
And
Jinx's
it's
unpredictability comes out in the acting and the funny. The runway, she's like, "This is what I look like," and
correct.
it's like, surprise us.
Yeah, and not that it looks bad because she never lets us down. She always looks classy and beautiful, even when she's having to make her own dresses out of glue. She puts herself together in a very beautiful way. And it's not like it's disappointing because she looks great, but it's just unexpected look.
Yeah, from the color of the hair to the shaping of it to the styling of the dress, like you could see this
Yeah.
dress without the head and you would know whose it is. And so I
Who was in it?
completely agree. And as much y'all know I love Jinx and I'm team Jinx. I think she's gonna win the whole thing. But I do agree.
Yeah.
Again, I'm
I
sharing all
mean,
her
it's
pictures.
beautiful. Yeah, it's
Looks
not that
great.
it's not beautiful. It's just I feel like it lacks a little creativity sometimes.
It's just it is what we expect her to give us. So there's no wow, there's no ooh. But
Yeah.
other people
She
came
looks
with what
good.
I other people came with a wow. And for me, that's my I love you, Trinity. Are we clapping for Trinity? Are you not clapping?
She's
Trinity.
giving me. Can I tell you what whose vibe she gave me and you're going to laugh?
Sure.
Samantha Jones.
I am
This
going to send you a clip from her season where she had to play Samantha Jones.
well, I saw her come out the runway and I was like, this gives me Samantha Jones. And Samantha Jones has never worn this. She's never worn anything
Okay.
like this, but something about the way that she was carrying herself, aside from the short hair, it gave me Samantha Jones.
I cannot tell you that I think like with all art and I love cartoons, so the doll in her hand and the colorfulness of it, I had an emotional like like and it's not even glamour, which I'm used to seeing Trinity in glamour. So I love that it wasn't glamour, but I was like this is so fun and I love it and I could see it as a cartoon like drawn up and the hair matching the tie. I I mean I liked and really enjoyed Trinity since her season. But I love, 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 love everything we're getting here, and I'm so happy we're getting to see it. It's so fun. It's so different. Nobody does this like this. I
I didn't I love this the idea of it. I didn't love the purple with the leopard print.
I just loved it.
But that's just a personal preference of mine. Like
Yeah,
I would have maybe liked like either pink or yellow or some another type of pop of color because I feel like the purple kind of like brought it down to where you can't really see that the print like it doesn't stand out the way that
yeah,
I would have liked it to. But I do like the idea. I think she looks adorable. I love the little, the little doll she's holding. I just didn't love the color.
yeah. Well, and I think that there may be some agreement in that because when you look at the edited afterthought photos, the leopard print is no longer beige. So
Yeah.
I think they noticed like, oh, it needed more bold. And in here, of course, you have all these hot pinks behind it. So it makes
Yeah.
even the purple less it's more like a pastel almost on the stage. So yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. I loved it, but I do get what you're saying. And you're
Yeah,
probably
because
right.
even
I
here
think
it's
they
like
noticed.
it stands out differently.
Yeah. And so
Very.
sharing, of course, what Trinity wrote, because again, I loved all these stories, but I love this so much. So again, when they were told about a knitted runway, she immediately thought of at nutmegs_mom_Jess. Years ago, a fan brought me this cute knitted stuffed animal to a show, and I became obsessed. They're called Grumpkins. Since then, she's brought me several more, and I bought a ton from her. I asked her if she was interested in making a look for me, and she was so excited to do so. Paid, of course. Her, along with Jeffrey Kelly Designs, who collaborated on this look to create a one-of-a-kind work of art. If you're interested in supporting a smaller business, then go order some Grumpkins from her. And you know me, I love supporting a small business. I love that she's putting them out there like that, because she didn't have to. Like, and then look at the comment from the owner of the business. Like, this means everything to me. I'm so happy and proud to have worked with you two to make this, and seeing the final piece is just jaw-dropping. I love you, Trinity the Tuck. You're amazing. And so if you click the link, like, I was like, this is so cool. Like, good job.
Those are so cute. They're like little aliens.
They're a little creepy, but I think I want one. Like, they're so cute.
They're cute. You know who they remind me of? Mac and Me. You remember the alien Mac and Me from like the 80s?
Like that weirdo.
It looks like the little alien and his family.
Totally. I'm going to write her and request that she makes a purple one with the leopard print so it can look like a Trinity Grumpkin. I think that would be great, and I want that one. So I'm going to write her and tell her that. And so that's really cool. So guys, check out this small business as well. I love that.
Yeah, that was nice supporting. She looks
beautiful. I love
beautiful.
the face every week. Yeah. The face. Oh
she's just so pretty. She's beautiful.
Oh, when I grow up, I want my face to look like that. Me too. Yeah. My face looks more like this. Love you, Bob. Oh God, I love it. So then we had Miss Monet Exchange, which I thought this was super fun.
It was so cute.
Yeah, loved it.
Very fun, very like Bo Peepee kind of like, mixed with like Hoochie Mama. Like, I loved it. And I have to just say, I'm in love with Monet's legs.
Monet is always being talked about her legs and her booty.
I love her legs. To me, are like just perfection. Like they're smooth and they're just the right length and the right width, and she's just sexy in all her curves. Every time she shows legs, I'm like, ooh. I love it. I think she looks beautiful, and I thought it was super fun and cute.
Well, I think she's aware because she loves to feature them as well. If you look at these photos that she posted, now, just so you know, that photo on the right, it's not a mistake. That's something that she's doing on the photo she's posting on Instagram. I don't know the reasoning behind that, but it's in all the pictures she's posting. There's a version like that with the chop. So I don't know what that's about, but it's real cute. I love the shoes. I didn't realize the shoes on the last picture.
That's so cute.
And so,
like, I could see somebody wearing this for like Halloween or something. Like, it's something that I could see.
Yep.
So
totally.
Monet, if you're listening, girl, get somebody to make these for Halloween.
That's it. The Monet. But Monet also shouted out who made this with her as a small business. I love the booty with the C on it. So Monet from Around the Way. I felt so seen. This look was made by hand by the incredibly talented Chelsea B128. I saw her on TikTok, and I knew I needed one of her pieces so I could be my fabulous self personified as the fiercest Rugrats character I never got to be as a kid.
Love it. And I love the shout out to the small businesses, and that there's people that are watching, all of these small businesses and admiring their work. And that's awesome.
And remember, in today's world, my friends, if you don't want to shop with them, even following them and liking some of their content gets their content seen by people who may want to shop. So it doesn't mean you have to go buy the stuff if it's not your thing that you want. I don't know if you want, to walk around like a Rugrats knitted character, but I think it's really cool. I'm going to go follow and like on them and interact. And I love the small business.
I would totally wear that for like Halloween.
Okay. We'll get it ordered for you. We'll get it right away.
Thank you. Work on that for me.
Next up, we have Miss Jada Essence Hall, who was channeling, what's the show? Something on the big couch?
The Big Comfy Couch. And fun fact, that was Jackie's favorite show
Go
when
figure.
she was little. So when she walked out,
You knew.
I knew that's what it was. And I was like, oh my gosh, she looks like the Big Comfy Couch. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And when she said it, I was like, I got it. I was so proud of myself because that's something that I normally don't. Yeah, I don't catch references like that, unless it's something that I just so happen to know. And I think she did great.
Yeah, I thought it was a lot of fun. I love the ridiculously sized scarf that I thought she was going to trip on that bottom picture. I was like, oh no, because it was wrapping around her feet. I was like, oh no, so like I love that she's wearing like this almost pajama-esque sweater-esque, but she still got cutouts around her booty. I'm like, oh, of course.
Yes, she still made it like sexy, like
yeah. And then the hair was playful and cute, and she did the little sneeze thing, and I was like, I loved it. I thought it was a lot of fun.
It was fun. It was cute. It was fun. I think it did bring the message across where it was like childly like, but still very fashion forward.
Yeah.
So I liked it.
Yeah. And I don't have more to show on Jada. Unfortunately, she didn't share anything else. So I mean, that's all I got. But not to be considered last, because it's definitely not least. You go. I have no words.
Okay. So when I first saw Raja come out, I was like, oh, it's like sci-fi. You know what I mean? And the more, like the closer she got and the more I saw the different angles of the dress, I was like, this is brilliant. Like it's so fashion forward. It's so futuristic. It's like what no one else would think of doing, like very ahead of her time.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Raja, you're amazing.
Very good. Very, very good.
I'm obsessed. This is gorgeous. Like, and I'm about to make you love it even more because these photos, Miss Raja, how dare you? The audacity.
It's so difficult to make something that's almost character, like I could see this in a movie, like a Star Trek or something movie, look elegant and beautiful at the same time.
And it's hard, like it's sharp and it's hard,
Yeah.
and it's still like, it's like dripping. And I love every single choice that was made.
It off.
Hair color, the color. I mean, she's been featuring gold quite a bit, so that's kind of a thing.
It looks good on her. It matches her skin tone very well.
Cue the gasp.
Beautiful. The hint of green. Do you see the hint of green in the neck area?
It's deliciousness. Look at
it's gorgeous.
Stones right here. Oh, I hate you guys for being so amazing.
She pulled it off. Something that cannot, like, can be like masculine and very like, kind of choppy. She made it look beautiful.
And so the internet went a little crazy with this look because Raja is the only one that is working really hard week after week after week, kind of referencing her season. So when she came into the first episode, she said, somebody looking for an icon, because on her season, she walked in wearing an eye. And then she did other looks that were kind of referential, like her Marie Antoinette-ish, right? And so everybody was like, oh, this is her redo of her gold look on her season. And when I saw it, I was like, yes, it is. And I'm so glad she confirmed it, because this just makes me I love you, Raja. So, and she said it in the narration of the show. So, it's not because fans said it. Juxtaposition of the past and the future, revisiting concepts and reimagining it into newer dimensions. Ugh. I just love it. I love the thought that went behind this. Like, I like that look. You guys have to remember that was RuPaul's Drag Race season 2. If I'm not mistaken, that's like 15 years ago. Like, what a difference,
Well,
obviously.
she looks better now than she did in that. I mean, in that picture.
Of course, because that's exactly it, right? Like the makeup has evolved and her skills, her expertise. But to say, I really like that look. Now, how would I do it today?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Very
Just
good.
absolutely brilliant.
Loved it.
And so we have our gals. And so who was your, I mean, if you're going to say who your favorite is, I'm pretty sure I could guess.
Well, my top two in this particular runway was definitely the Vivian and Raja. So I was very happy with the results.
175,000%. Like
Yeah.
there was no doubt, there was no
No,
question. I liked many of the other no. Like these two and the like they're on the opposite ends of the runway. I was like, if you choose anyone else, you're wrong. Like I'd
no. They did.
and
I was
so
very, very happy with Rue's decision. I think that
yeah.
it was the best call. They all did great, but yeah, those two just stole the show.
And so we get a really, really fun lip sync to Super Freak, which is such an
I was
unexpected.
excited when I heard the song because I'm not gonna lie, some of the songs I don't know them. When they
Yeah.
put them, I'm like, I've never even heard of this song. So I'm very proud of them for knowing them or just being that good at lip singing. They could do it and get away with it anyway.
Well, they have time to prepare. They know the song ahead of time for
Oh,
sure.
okay. Well, because I know sometimes we've talked about it where drags just wing it, when they don't know the song. So I don't know. I was like, yay, you guys are doing great.
I'm always surprised when they put on a male voice song. I'm always like, what? And then I love it always because it's just
Yeah, no, I loved it. I was like, yeah, I know this song and I loved it. And I think they did very well.
I also love that they both went from what I feel is like the top level of glamour to like girls going out for a drink together, city girl. Like they went from one extreme to another.
Wow, I think that what Raja was wearing went perfectly with the song and everything. Like I felt like it was like her
It was her song.
performance, which is why I loved it so much. Because I know the
That is her
Vivian,
era. She's like, I got this.
yeah, like the Vivian did good and she did her stunts and her craziness, almost killed herself on stage. But I couldn't take my eyes off of Raja, which
So let's
says a
take a
lot
look
because,
at a clip of the performance
yeah, show it. You have it?
of exactly what you're talking about.
Let's do it. Play that.
Oh, I love RuPaul.
Monet's like, I
And
love Monet's face. Did you see her? She's like,
now, if you go back and look at the other lip syncs, most weeks Monet is unbothered. She's always like, and this
no,
was
she was,
you.
she was super into it. It's so funny. Put that little piece again. She's like, she's so into it. They need to make that into a meme or something, like a GIF.
I'm like, girl, if you're gonna almost fall, that's how you almost fall. That's how you almost fall.
I love her. She did a great save. I think
Yeah.
she was fun. She left it all on the stage, and I appreciate her and I love her for that.
Oh,
But I
super
could
fun.
not take my eyes off of Raja.
Same.
And when her titty came out, I was like, oh, titties out and everything. She was like, let it all hang out.
But it was so good. It worked. It was perfect. It was fun. And
She
then
did really good. I loved it. And I think that the look, for whatever the reason, what she was wearing worked in her favor very well.
she knew what she was doing. She was very confident in this performance. She knew exactly what song it was. She didn't have to study this. This is from her era. She's like, I got this. Like, easy
It
peasy.
showed. She did really good.
And then, of course, it's time to block somebody. And Jada Essence Hall thinks that it's a good strategy towards the earlier part of this episode or middle part to say, just so everybody knows, I already have 3 stars, so I'm probably going to be in the finale. There's no way you're going to beat me. I've never been blocked, so you should probably just block somebody else because I'm going to be Mama, cállate. I was like, shh, like, what are
You
you
haven't
doing?
noticed yet. You're under the radar. Cállate.
I was like, no, no. I was like, well, we know who we're blocking this week. And you know what? I love the joy in her face. She's like, bueno, ya me tocaba. Like, it was her turn because
Yeah.
what you gonna do, right? But literally, I was like, girl, what are you thinking? The math is on her favor because we're almost towards the end. We only have 4 episodes left, including the finale. So there's only 3 more episodes before the finale. So this is literally anyone's game at this point because
I don't know
we're
what
gonna
the heck
show
they're
it.
going to do as a tiebreaker. I'm so confused as to how this is going to work.
So we have 3 more weeks of girls that can win and get points to make it to the finale. But right now, it's still so much anybody's game. I mean, there's 3 girls that have 3 points. There's 1, 2, 3 girls that have 2 points. Monet and Shay have 1. So they would literally have to win the next 2 weeks in a row to get to the finale. So if Monet and Shay don't win the next 2 weeks, they're out. Bottom line. Boom. Cutthroat. So that's how the points work out. And then the rest is just literally like it's anyone's game. So this has been such a fun season. I'm so sad that it's moving along so quickly. I don't want it to end. But it's really cool. And I love this new layout, this new format.
So there's how many episodes left?
So there's 3 more episodes. The 4th one is the finale. So you have 3 more chances to get points.
Okay.
So like when you look at that, I have, guys, I don't know if I'm crazy. I'm crazy. I have written it out like, okay, if you get a point, but then, okay, you can't get a point. Like
you're crazy. So like, I'm just watching it and enjoying it.
Because I'm trying to figure it out. I love it so much.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love it too. I'm not going to sit here and go crazy over the points.
I've always wanted to do like a fantasy football league for drag queens and put money in a pot and be like, this who gonna win.
That's not a bad idea. You should definitely try to do that. I don't know
how to do it, but I'll have to talk to somebody who likes football and does this stuff.
Football, you have a whole community that you could get together and give them the idea.
I meant to understand the fantasy football league and how it works and all that. Because I just
I know how to work it. I've played it before. Fun fact. You didn't know that about me, did you?
I would never play fantasy football because, qué sé yo.
Well, when you have a large family and they just need people because they need the numbers and they need the boxes filled out and everybody's like, all right, here, put me down for 20.
Yep.
30, 40 bucks here, this box. Yeah, it just happens.
Totally happens. So, guys, let us know who you're cheering for. Not like because we don't know what's gonna happen, but like let us know who you're loving, who you think is gonna win, who you want to win. I'm so excited to keep watching, and I love this show on Wednesday because now in 2 days we have another episode. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness, are you planning to switch it for always on Wednesdays?
We don't have to, but I thought this worked better, so we might want to talk about it.
Well, I'm just saying, since you keep putting it out there, how much you love it on Wednesdays, I'm like, am I not like picking up what you're throwing out?
No, not necessarily. But before we go, I do like to share any kind of drag bonus information that I find and things that are out there in the drag universe that I love. And I wanted to do this quick moment. So one of my favorite drag queens of all is Envy Peru. Envy Peru was the winner of Drag Race Holland season 1, and she's actually from Peru, but she lives in Holland. So she's a Latina, and she, to me, is one of the most exquisite artists I've ever seen. That's what Latinas do.
Yeah, she's a Latina. Okay.
A Latina. So not that I couldn't like her if she wasn't a Latina, but anyways, so I thought this was really cool because she posted this on her page that she used to work before Drag Race at the MAC store, the MAC makeup store. And now, check this out.
Body back and forth. Move my body back and forth. Move my body back and forth. Move my body.
From the MAC makeup store to having her own collection at MAC, like,
that's so good. She's beautiful.
I will send you some of her stuff. I've never seen somebody who paints to the level that they paint. I'm obsessed. The hair, the way they, I mean, incredible artist. But like, how insane is that? Like, I used to work in the retail store. Oh, now you can buy my collection. Like, what is this show?
That's awesome.
I mean, you just never know. And it transcends drag. It teaches us all that opportunities can lead you places, and adventures and new experience can lead you to something you never imagined. I know that Envy Peru didn't go on Drag Race and was like, I'm going to win and I'm going to have my own mat collection. I mean, maybe there was a vision board idea. I don't know. But I don't think that's the reason you go on the show. And now it's like, pinch me. Like, how is this real?
Well, it's just another reminder of like the possibilities and the opportunities that come when you put yourself out there.
My
Because
God.
we've seen even shows where the main winner
Doesn't.
is it doesn't get the, you know, accomplishments that maybe runner-ups or people that were
Absolutely.
just contestants in the show. So I think that if it's your time and you're meant to have these opportunities and you're prepared for it and you're ready, I think it just, the world takes care of it for you. The
And
universe just opens up.
yeah. And I think anybody who understands fame knows that if you're given 5 minutes, it is up to you to capitalize on them, to show the best of you and to keep it going. You know, Latrice Royale, who's my friend from South Beach, Miami, was on Drag Race 100 years ago and then went back for All Stars and then went back again for another All Stars. Latrice has not stopped touring since her original season of Drag Race, and she's toured the world, not just like the US, right? She's gone to Africa and Australia and Europe and all of this because of the show, because we love her. And being in a lot of rooms where she's performed for big stadiums that I've been in, the level of crowd adoration for Latrice is uncomparable to most of the other girls. I remember one time I was in New York for Pride one year, and she was performing, and you couldn't hear the song because the screaming of the people. I was like,
Everybody was
I'm
so
like, does she have an
excited.
earpiece? Like, she needed like a Britney Spears earpiece because it was so loud. And it's like 4 stories of people just like, wow. And Latrice is one of the most gracious, most professional, always talks about being kind to others, being on time, how everything is supposed to be done. Anyways, all of that to say, it's another example, you know, and there's countless examples of that, of people who didn't win. You know, Nina Flowers didn't win. There's tons that didn't win, you know, so.
And they're still doing what they love to do and they have lots of opportunities. So
Yeah.
that's
And I
awesome.
think if you're kind to other people and your art is true passion, you will find your way to break into the sphere of making it happen. With that said, talking about everything going on as far as performances of that, I am very excited, and maybe we should move the shows to Wednesday, but I am very excited because this Saturday, I am getting to go experience, I'm like literally almost in tears excited. I am getting to go. That's not what I want to show you again. Pause.
That's because you're too excited. Pay attention.
I can't help it. I'm going to this tour here in Orlando, Florida, and I'm going to get to see Miss Evie Oddly, Miss Jada Essence Hall, Vanjie, Cameron Michaels, and a whole bunch of the girls from the very last season that I've never seen before. I did see some of these girls in Vegas, but now I get to see the whole new cast, including last year's, the current reigning winner, Willow Pill. I'm so thrilled. I'm so excited. I bought these tickets months ago. And I literally had like a Post-it note every month reminding me when it was, and I just kept moving it. And I'm like, it's here. And I never thought when I bought these tickets that I would have a Drag Race show to share with you guys. And so I don't know how much, you know, pictures and stuff I'll be able to take, because you know how concerts and stuff can be. But I'm gonna get some stuff, and I hope to be able to share.
Just make sure you don't get yourself kicked out.
No, it says no long stem video camera. I'm like, it's my phone. I can take my phone. So, but anyways, I'm really excited to get to see them.
I'm so happy for you that you get to experience that. I'm very excited for you.
And I will tell you, there's another one coming up that I'm going to, and the Vivian will be there. So I'm very excited about the next couple events coming up. But I love that I have this platform to share it with you guys, because if you love Drag Race, why not share all the stuff? And so I'll let you guys know how that event was next time we chit chat. And so that's our show for today. Anything else you wanted to share, or we're good?
No, that's it. Apparently, we're moving the show to Wednesdays. We'll get back to you with that information. News to me too.
We'll post it on the Instagram if it's official. We'll talk about it.
If it's, yeah, let me think about it. I'll let y'all know.
So as always, thank you so much, guys, for hanging out with people
Thank
like
you.
us. Tag a friend, send the video out to your fellow Drag Race lovers, and I really, really love doing this. I hope you guys are loving hearing our thoughts. Bob the Drag Queen, I love you. And again, thank you for hanging out with us. For people like us, special edition RuPaul's Drag Race All-Star Season 7 review, Episode 8. And have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.